Why play Nocturne Top? Well, he is an amazing duelist. His spell shield gives him great outplays, his single target lockdown is very strong, and he clears waves quickly and easily. However, he is very all-in with little disengage, and he can struggle into some of the harder lane bullies top. Nocturne's passive is periodically he empowers his next basic attack to deal damage in a circle, healing him per enemy hit. Basic attacks reduce the cooldown of this passive, and basic attacks against champions or monsters reduce it massively. Nocturne's Q is a straight line skill shot, which deals damage to enemies hit and leaves a dusk trail in its wake. In addition, enemy champions and large monsters hit also leave behind a dusk trail as they move. And while in this trail, Nocturne is ghosted and gains a large amount of bonus attack damage and move speed. Nocturne's W has a passive where he just gains a good amount of attack speed. The active is a spell shield, and if it blocks an enemy ability, the bonus attack speed he gets from his passive is doubled. Nocturne's E has a passive where he gains 90% bonus move speed while moving towards feared targets. The active is a point and click ability which forms a tether between him and the target, and they take damage during the duration. If the tether's not broken for 2 seconds, the target is feared and slowed. Nocturne's ultimate has 2 activations. The first causes all enemy champions, regardless of where they are on the map, to become nearsighted. The second activation is a point and click ability where Nocturne dashes to an enemy champion and upon arrival deals damage to them. For combos, use Q into E and attack away. If possible, walk behind them to fear them in the wrong direction and use W to block a key ability. And this combo also works brilliant if starting ultimate, where your range to engage this fight is just incredibly strong. For matchups, Nocturne is great into champions that don't want to be engaged on, and he's especially good into champions that rely on one key ability that he can block with his spell shield. However, he can struggle into some of the lane bullies top who don't rely on a single ability. For runes, take this. Conqueror is great extra damage, and Jack of all trades is the secret OP rune which we'll discuss in the build. For build order, start Blade and Pot into a Strike Breaker and tier 2 boots. From here, a Frozen Heart and Kanik are great pickups before finishing a build with any of these. When you have your first 3 items complete with your Doran's Blade, you hit the requirement for Jack of all trades. This gives you great damage while also being very tanky with your build, meaning you're essentially a tank with great damage who can easily dive the enemy backline. For skill order, start Q then W then E before maxing Q then E then W, taking ult whenever you can. For summoner spells, take Flash and Teleport. Starting the game, you're looking to farm hard and poke your opponent constantly with Qs, which is also great to push the wave. Whenever you land a Q on an enemy champion, it's a great opportunity to go in for a full trade. With a well-timed spell shield to block a key ability and the CC of your fear, your trading pattern is incredibly difficult to deal with. And if you go for the all-in, between your Q speed up and your E speed up towards a fear target, you're very sticky. And of course, once you hit level 6, you can choose to do this whenever you want. Entering the mid-game, take your tower as soon as you can and then split push. Push the lane closest to the objective your team needs and then use your ultimate to collapse onto the fight. Entering late-game team fights, you're almost always looking to dive their backline. So either wait for the fight to start and then ult in, or play the front line attacking their front line until you get the chance to ultimate onto a backline carry. From here, you still have tons of damage while being very tanky, and between your Q, Strike Breaker and E, they can't get away from you while you cut them down.